Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Jaden Daniels is back under the primetime lights, and if his performance against the New York Giants is any indication, fans should brace themselves for another evening of quarterback wizardry. Last week, Daniels made what looked like a challenging game look deceptively simple, carving up a Giants defense despite not being at his absolute best. It wasn't the flawless performance many expected from the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, but it was enough to remind everyone why Washington trusted him with the number 2 pick in the 2024 draft. Now, just a week later, the stakes are even higher. The Washington Commanders are heading to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers, and the national spotlight is ready to shine even brighter. If Week 1 was any indication, Daniels thrives in these moments, and fans around the country are preparing for what could be an offensive showcase of epic proportions. The narrative here is compelling. It's not just a game. It's a battle of young signal callers who already have the league buzzing. Jaden Daniels is set to face Jordan Love, a quarterback who has quietly emerged as one of the NFC's brightest talents. On paper, it's a clash of two legitimate playoff hopefuls, both looking to set the tone early in the season, and both carrying the hopes of franchises eager to return to the postseason. Analysts like Ryan Heckman from NFL Spin Zone are already putting bold numbers on this showdown, predicting that these two gunslingers could combine for over 700 total yards. That's right, 700 yards with the entire league watching. And while it might sound ambitious, there's a certain logic to the prediction. Week 1 gave us a glimpse of what's possible. Daniels went for 301 total yards against the Giants, while Love was more conservative, throwing for 188 yards against Detroit. When you combine that with the added pressure of primetime, a shorter preparation week, and two NFC contenders looking to assert themselves, the potential for fireworks is undeniable. It's also important to remember the context in which this game is taking place. Defenses were strong in Week 1 for both teams. Washington's defensive unit held its ground admirably, and the Packers showcased the kind of stinginess that makes them perennial contenders. On paper, it makes Heckman's prediction even bolder. On a typical week, you wouldn't necessarily expect two quarterbacks to reach such astronomical numbers against disciplined units. But this isn't a typical week. This is prime time, under the lights, where everything is magnified, and pressure seems to inspire brilliance rather than hinder it. Daniels, in particular, has proven time and again that he thrives when the stakes are highest. His rookie season, culminating in a memorable run to the NFC Championship, showed that he is not intimidated by the national spotlight. Instead, he appears to draw energy from it, and that's exactly what the Commanders need if they hope to walk out of Lambeau Field with a victory. Of course, it's still early in the season, and there are kinks to work out. The Commanders are not without flaws, and Week 1 revealed areas that require attention. Penalties need to be cleaned up, timing on certain routes must be sharpened, and perhaps most importantly, Terry McLaurin needs to find his rhythm with Daniels. McLaurin missed all of training camp and the preseason due to a prolonged contract dispute, and while he remains one of the team's most explosive offensive weapons, integrating him back into the flow of the offense is critical. If Daniels can connect with him consistently, it could completely change the dynamic of Washington's passing game. But even without perfection, Daniels has shown the ability to overcome adversity and keep the team moving forward. His poise in the pocket, combined with his dual-threat capability, allows him to make plays that few other quarterbacks in the league can replicate. Meanwhile, the Packers have made headlines themselves, most notably with their trade for All-Pro edge rusher Micah Parsons. The addition of Parsons signals that Green Bay is serious about returning to the Super Bowl conversation, and his presence on the field is guaranteed to test Daniels' decision-making and mobility. This matchup isn't just a quarterback duel. It's a chess match between two teams with legitimate postseason aspirations. The Commanders' offensive line will be tested, the Packers' secondary will try to disrupt rhythm, and the battle in the trenches may very well dictate the outcome. Yet, if there's one thing that Daniels has repeatedly shown, it's an uncanny ability to remain composed in chaotic situations. He can make pinpoint throws under pressure, scramble when necessary, and read defenses with a maturity beyond his years. The combination of his talent, confidence, and experience on the national stage makes him uniquely equipped to rise to the challenge. Thursday Night Football has a way of creating unforgettable moments, and this matchup has all the ingredients for one. It's a game where every throw, every scramble, and every decision is magnified. Fans tuning in are not just watching a regular season game. They are witnessing the ongoing development of two young quarterbacks who could define the NFC for years to come. Daniels has already shown flashes of brilliance in high-stakes environments, and if Week 1 is any indication, he's just getting started. His ability to manage the game, exploit defensive weaknesses, and make plays both inside and outside the pocket gives Washington a real chance to steal a win on the road. Even in a stadium as storied as Lambeau Field, where history and tradition weigh heavily on visiting teams, Daniels has the tools to rise above. As analysts break down the stats, discuss matchups, and predict outcomes, one fact remains clear. When Jayden Daniels is under the lights, expect excitement. Whether the Commanders win or lose, Daniels will be at the center of the narrative, dazzling fans with the kind of playmaking that earned him the league's top rookie honor last season. It's not just about the numbers, though those will surely impress. It's about leadership, composure, and the ability to inspire teammates on a national stage. With every dropback, every sideline throw, and every explosive run, Daniels continues to prove that he belongs among the league's elite young quarterbacks. Thursday night is another chapter in what promises to be a fascinating story, and for Commanders fans and neutral observers alike, it's a must-watch event. In the end, whether Washington comes away with a win remains uncertain, but there's no doubt that the team will always have a chance with Daniels at the helm. His growth, resilience, and skill make him a quarterback who can change the trajectory of a game in an instant. With the lights shining bright, the crowd buzzing, and the nation watching, Daniels is poised to deliver another unforgettable performance. The Commanders' journey is just beginning, and if Thursday night is any indication, Jayden Daniels is set to remind everyone why he's one of the most exciting young talents in the NFL today. Fans should buckle up, because primetime in the NFL has never been quite like this. And if Daniels plays anything like he did against the Giants, we are in for an offensive spectacle that will be talked about for weeks. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL never sleeps, and even in the quietest moments of the offseason, the league somehow finds a way to generate drama that keeps fans glued to every rumor, every whisper, and every potential fallout inside locker rooms across the country. And right now, one of those stories comes from Green Bay, where the rising star quarterback Jordan Love has allegedly stirred up controversy after reportedly making dismissive comments about the Washington Commanders, sparking frustration not only among Washington players, but creating waves of tension throughout his own locker room as well. What started as a supposed offhand remark has now turned into a storm of speculation, with teammates, coaches, and analysts questioning how something that seemed so small could possibly escalate into one of the hottest rumors of the preseason. The story goes that Love, who has been under enormous pressure stepping into the shoes of Aaron Rodgers, was in a casual conversation when he allegedly referred to the Commanders as a non-factor in the NFC race. The quote, depending on who you believe, was either taken out of context or delivered with the kind of blunt confidence that can rub players the wrong way. Either way, word of his statement traveled quickly, and in today's NFL where every soundbite can get amplified across social media in seconds, the supposed jab against Washington didn't stay quiet for long. Commanders players reportedly caught wind of it almost immediately, and that set off a chain reaction, with members of their roster firing back privately, saying they won't forget such disrespect when the season kicks off. What complicates the matter even more is how the story has been received within Green Bay's own locker room. While some teammates see it as nothing more than standard quarterback bravado, others believe Love's comments show a lack of awareness about where he stands in his own career. This is not Aaron Rodgers making a sly jab after years of MVP trophies. This is a young quarterback still proving himself, still fighting for full respect across the league. For him to make bold, dismissive comments about another NFL franchise, especially one that has been making quiet but steady improvements, has reportedly created a sense of unease among veterans who feel such talk does nothing but add unnecessary targets on their backs. The Packers are already under the microscope this season, with analysts watching closely to see whether Love can carry the franchise forward. Now, with this storyline, the pressure only intensifies. Inside Washington, the mood has reportedly shifted from irritation to motivation. Players from the defensive front, particularly, are said to have taken it personally. For a team that already plays with a chip on its shoulder, being branded irrelevant by a quarterback who hasn't yet cemented his legacy feels like a slap in the face. One player was even rumored to have said in private that Love will regret opening his mouth, hinting at the possibility of heightened intensity if and when the two teams meet on the field. In the NFL, bulletin board material is real, and even a stray comment can turn into fuel for an entire roster that feels slighted. If Love indeed said what people are claiming, he may have given Washington exactly the motivation they need to rally around a narrative of disrespect. The Packers, meanwhile, are facing questions about leadership. Coaches haven't publicly addressed the rumor, and Love himself has remained silent, which in the world of sports media often makes the fire burn hotter. Silence can be interpreted in two ways. Either it's a refusal to dignify baseless gossip, or it's a subtle acknowledgement that something close to the truth has been said. For fans and reporters, the ambiguity is what makes this rumor so intriguing. It's the kind of story that has no clear resolution yet, but every person involved, whether in Green Bay or Washington, has to be wondering what it will mean down the line. This situation also raises bigger questions about Jordan Love's place in the NFL's hierarchy. Since becoming the starter, he has been carefully watched to see whether he can live up to the standard Rodgers set before him. In some moments, Love has flashed brilliance, showing the poise, arm strength, and decision-making that made the Packers believe in him. In others, he has looked like a work in progress, leaving doubts about whether he can be consistent enough to guide a team through the grind of a full season. For him to be caught in a narrative of disrespect so early in his tenure as a starter could shape how opponents view him. The NFL is a fraternity, but it is also a battleground of egos, and quarterbacks who appear to dismiss others often find themselves targeted on Sundays. On the other side, it's also worth considering whether this is simply a case of rumor getting blown out of proportion. In the high-speed cycle of sports coverage, even a vague remark can be twisted into headline-worthy controversy. Some teammates reportedly believe Love never meant to slight Washington specifically, but rather was making a broader point about focusing on legitimate playoff threats. Yet perception is everything, and perception now is that Jordan Love disrespected a franchise and underestimated its players. In professional sports, perception often becomes reality, and that can have ripple effects that last longer than the initial comment itself. If there's one thing fans know, it's that NFL players never forget disrespect. Locker rooms remember. Veterans especially thrive on proving doubters wrong, and this situation has the potential to create a memorable clash when Washington and Green Bay share the field. Imagine the Commanders' defense, fueled by the idea that Love called them irrelevant, swarming him with extra intensity. Every sack and hit punctuated by the unspoken message, "We're not the non-factor you thought." That kind of tension is the lifeblood of NFL narratives, the invisible spark that turns ordinary games into statement wins. The Packers now find themselves in a delicate position. Love's leadership will be tested not just by his performance on the field, but by how he handles the storm around him. Does he step forward to clarify and calm the waters, showing maturity in the face of rumors? Or does he double down on quiet confidence, letting his play do the talking? Either way, this is the kind of moment that can define how a quarterback is viewed not only by fans and media, but by his own teammates. Leaders in the NFL are forged in the way they navigate controversy, and this is an early test for a young man who carries the weight of one of the league's most storied franchises. As the story continues to circulate, fans are left buzzing. Is this just noise? Or is there a deeper truth to the idea that Love underestimated a fellow NFC opponent? Could this be the kind of behind-the-scenes friction that creates rivalries where none existed before? Or will the whole thing blow over by the time the season begins? Another rumor lost in the endless churn of the NFL news cycle? One thing is certain, the Commanders will not forget the whispers. And whether Jordan Love intended to stir the pot or not, he now has a target on his back, a challenge to prove that his words, or the words attributed to him, carry the weight of someone capable of backing them up on the field. In the end, football is about moments, and this rumor has already created one. A rising quarterback, a proud franchise, and a swirl of controversy that may or may not be grounded in truth, but has already captured the attention of fans and players alike. That's the beauty of the NFL's never-ending drama. Sometimes, the biggest stories don't come from what happens between the lines, but from what's whispered in locker rooms, repeated by insiders, and carried like wildfire across the league. For Jordan Love, this might be a lesson in the power of perception. For Washington, it's motivation. For the rest of us, it's a storyline to watch unfold with every snap, every press conference, and every collision that proves the NFL is as much about pride as it is about points on the scoreboard. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.